Hello, I am the Brad Lowe, and I am joined by Heidi. How are you doing, Heidi?
I'm doing great, super excited. A little sad that Claire is not with us tonight, but we'll bring her back after this week. So
She is
excited
on a
about
she is on assignment. She's on assignment,
yeah,
Heidi.
yeah.
See, we'll go ahead and Andrew. You may not know this yet, but I'm just going to drop it. If people are watching this show right now or they're listening, Claire is joining the Hopecast Network as an official cast member. So we're excited to welcome her in. She's going to be my co-host on Work Advice for Me, which I think is going to shift to a weekly show now that you can download. It's going to be Claire and I every week talking to people. Our first episode is going to be Ben Higgins. We've already booked it. It's going to happen, and we're excited. So if you're a Bachelor fan, you can tune into that and listen to Ben and Claire talk about their reality dating experience.
Oh, I
But we,
forgot
huh?
that Claire was in the show. I'm sorry, it like brought them
Yeah,
back. Okay, Claire.
she's in the dating show. I think she spent like one day there. Remember? Did she say like one day or something? I can't remember.
You know,
We should,
Brad, I have all kinds of ideas for that first episode. You should allow all the people in the whole in the network to maybe just pop in for a quick minute and say, congrats or congratulations to Claire, something like that.
Heidi, I like that. Let's do it.
I
Will you
mean,
do it? Will you pop in?
of course I will.
Okay. Andrew, you can pop in if you want to say hey. That voice you hear is Andrew. How do you say it? Herkelman?
Herkelman, yeah.
Herkel. Hey, I got it right, Heidi. I'm good. Andrew is on season 2 of The Floor, and sadly,
No, don't say it. Don't say it yet.
oh, okay. I'm not going to say it then because I got to say this, Andrew. Claire calls me today, and I haven't watched the episode yet because my wife is not a Floor fan. And I was like last night,
Wow.
I know. And I said, let's watch The Floor. She's like, I don't really want to watch that show. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to watch that show. It's okay, babe. So I was like, I'll watch it tomorrow, no commercials. Claire calls me at the Walmart. I'm talking to Claire. And I'm like, I'm excited Andrew's coming on. And she said, yeah, and she spoils it for me. And I'm like, I haven't watched it yet, Claire. So I knew going in the spoiler alert. And I was kind of like, sheesh, man. But
Wait, there's more to that story, and I won't like spoil it for everyone quite yet. But Brad then texts me because I asked, okay, who are we talking to? And then he tells me everything. I'm like, I'm about to start watching it right now so I can prep for the episode.
did I tell you everything? Oh my gosh.
You told me now that I knew what was gonna happen. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, I did. Because I figured you had watched it already. I'm like, Heidi's way better than I am, Andrew, at getting prepared. And I figured she'd watched it. I love how we brought Andrew on and we haven't let him say but like one word in 3 minutes.
No, you guys are good. You guys are good.
Tell us more about you. Where do you live, and what do you do for your real life outside of TV?
Yeah, so my name's Andrew. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Peoria, Illinois, but I just moved down to Bradenton, Florida, and I am a high school math teacher right now.
Oh, so you're my kind of people.
Yeah,
I love it. So what grade do you teach?
I teach juniors and seniors, so I teach 6 sections of AP Pre-Calc at IMG Academy.
Interesting. I'm about to look here your category. What was your original category on The Floor?
Oh, I know
My
that.
original category was game night.
Yes.
Ah, that's right. You were the one that said, "Oh, I do like." Oh, tell me what it was that you said to the people, during before or during in between the episodes.
Yeah, so I told everybody that I talked to about my category that I worked at a board game cafe for 2 years. That was a bluff. And so I never actually worked at a board game cafe. I originally was going to come on and not say that, but I had it in my back pocket. And then the first day when you get down to Ireland, there's like 2 days before filming actually begins, and you get to meet everybody, and you get to essentially like ask each other, like it's like college again, except instead of asking like what's your major, they ask what's your category. As soon as I told, the first person I met was Keelan, who was the periodic table, who battled in Professions, I think, a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
I met him and then a guy named Kevin who's art supplies. And I told them my category was game night, and they said that they loved board games and was excited to challenge me in my category. And so I had to think of something quick to kind of scare them away a little bit. So that's why I told everyone that I worked at a board game cafe.
Andrew, do you feel like if I was a single dude
Mhm.
and I get to come to the floor, do
Yeah.
you feel like, and do you feel like the girls there would judge me if I was in a weird category opposed to a cool category? Are there like cool category kids opposed to the dorky category kids? Because is there category basing in the floor community?
I don't think so. I think
Ooh,
every single
I like that.
category is kind of like unique. Obviously, there's like more niche categories and there's more general categories like beach or weather. But like one of my favorite guys that I met on the floor, his category was Star Wars. His name's Mac, and he
Still in
was, yeah, he's still in it, and he was a super chill dude. So like you would not expect him to be like a huge like Star Wars fan, and so I feel like people's
let's
category
run-
didn't match.
wait. I have a question about that. So
Yeah.
what is a Star Wars fan in your mind then? I'm very curious about what you just said.
Heidi,
Your brain.
that's Heidi. You're a Star Wars fan, right?
Oh no, I haven't told him anything yet, so I want to know.
I'm just assuming. I know, but I mean, I'm sorry.
Andrew, so tell us more. Why did he not look like that kind of person?
I don't know. Actually, I've never actually seen Star Wars, and so my parents growing up would did not let me watch Star Wars. So I actually don't know what I would qualify as a Star Wars fan, but he just struck me as like I don't know. I just wouldn't have put him on like a Star Wars category if I had to guess his category from just looking at him. So
Got it.
I got to get to that, but I'm going to talk about the Star Wars with you, Andrew. You've seen Star Wars, right? You've seen the movie.
No, I've never seen
He
it.
just said he hasn't seen it.
No, I thought he said he didn't see it as a kid.
No, I've never
Okay,
taken
then-
time to go back and see it.
Okay, that explains why I was screaming at you earlier tonight when I was watching the game, because I was like, why aren't you choosing Star Wars? Everyone knows Star Wars. Why are you choosing currency, Andrew? Why?
Okay, so more important question than Star Wars though. Do you find yourself to be a gamer? Like, do you play real like board games or what? Because
Yeah.
I have a lot to talk about that.
Yeah, so I love playing board games. The only problem is I probably play like the same 4 or 5 board games, and so like my actual knowledge of all the different ones don't go too deep. So like for that category, that's why I came up with the lie of the board game cafe. But I'm also pretty big like reality TV super fan. So like obviously I recognized Heidi from Survivor and instantly, and so I've seen like every season of Survivor and Big Brother and
Oh
the
my
Traitors and all
god.
that. Yeah.
Okay,
Andrew-
so Brad, I have so much to say today. Okay.
Well, Andrew, Heidi has a rule. You can't look her in the eyes when you're around her. That's the rule. She's that big.
That's true. All right. So Andrew, here's-
Oh, we got some smack talk in the comments, guys. We got some smack talk. Jacob is watching, and he said, I would take you down in board game category. He's throwing the gauntlet at you, Andrew,
Okay.
right now.
Okay,
We'll
so
see.
I was gonna go super off script. Look, I'm moving my computer. I never do this, but I'm doing it.
Never. I get to see Heidi's house. Hey, this is nice.
This is my basement. All right.
Oh,
So this is our closet in the basement. Come on!
oh my gosh, Jacob, does that rival your games?
So this is just some of our games, but the kids also have like a whole area where they also have games for the kids. So of course I saw that category. I was so excited because I was like, yes, this is my time. But then it wasn't like too many of them, obscure ones or anything like that. But I thought you would be like, you would know all my games. That's what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I knew like the more popular ones, and so all the ones that came up during my duel, I knew because I've either seen them or played them before. But like, there is a lot of contestants that talked to me about my category, came up with like, did you like this game? And it would be like a really niche game that I didn't really know. And so that was kind of what scared me with that category, because there are some huge gamers on the floor.
Yeah. What's your favorite game?
I love Catan. It's like such a basic answer, but it's such a good game though.
How about you, Brad? What's your favorite board game?
Oh my gosh, I'm not a board game guy. I'm not. I guess I would say I like Sorry and Dumb Kids, man. Jacob has he just flexed. He board game play. He has 260 of them.
I think Jacob would beat me in that game, that category. Then,
yeah, I think he might.
Scared Jacob.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. One last comment, Brad, and then we can go. Because I've been taking over your space here.
No, you're fine.
I realized that I sat down here and like my Survivor clothes is like up here, my underwear and everything. So
what are you talking about? I can't see that. What is that?
It's hard to tell, but this clothes over here was everything I wore that I had for Survivor. So like my
wow.
Shirt, my
you need to take it. It's hard to see it on here. Take a picture and send that to me. I like to see the closer shot of that. Yeah.
We were talking about reality TV and it just hit me like, oh yeah, my clothes is like right here.
I'll put that as your photo in my phone.
This is all I had for the record. There's like two, like just everything is in one case. So that's yeah. All right, Brad, what do you have to say? Because I took over, you interrupted me.
I want to say this episode, Heidi, was 100 times better than last week's episode. Andrew listened to us talk about, I'm not talking about our episode last week was great. I'm talking about the actual floor episode. Last week sucked. It really did. And I told Angie it was bad. And this week was better. It was a better episode. We got to see some better duels. I want to see the duels, and so we got to see that, which made me happy. So there is that,
So how about we do this? So Andrew, the way we go here, we go one by one and talk about them. I would like to talk about the first one, and then maybe ask you some questions right after that. Is that okay? Does that work, Brad?
Yeah, I like it. Let's roll it.
So, first of all, I think I heard at the beginning of the episode that there were 25 players already out, which actually surprised me. Like I didn't counted them all. So that was quite interesting. And then we go to the first duel, and Andrew, you were part of the duel there. And tell me why you picked Chelsea, right? Why did you go for Chelsea? And just to remind everyone's mind, her category was world currency. So what went through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, they edited it out, but the actual reason why I went for Chelsea was because I felt I felt really bad about daytime TV. I did not want daytime TV. I've never seen a single daytime TV episode in my life, so I knew I was going to keep dueling to try to get some money and maybe win an episode or two, but I knew I wasn't really in it for the long game. And even if I did win daytime TV, the categories that were around me, if I went back to the floor, were really, really bad. It was holistic spirituality, female athletes, constellations, the military, and Star Wars, which I've never seen. So my strategy for if I beat Chelsea and won, I would then open myself up to potentially get challenged by a lot more categories that I would want to inherit. And so I would open myself up to nursery rhymes, which I've studied, extreme sports, which I've studied, lab equipment and American inventions, which is in that like STEM field for me, and then triple threats as well. But I just opened myself up a lot more and have someone that potentially could challenge me that I would like, because they also don't show this, but the person that was in holistic spirituality, he came up to me 5 minutes before we started filming episode 4 and told me that he's seen every single daytime TV Emmy for the last 15 years. And so that really scared me. I didn't think it was.
What if this person was fibbing? Like, what if they were lying?
Yeah, I don't know why he would say that to me if he was lying about it, because I couldn't do anything. Like, besides, I would just want to challenge him more, I guess. But yeah.
Andrew, I do not see that as a flex. I feel that that's a pathetic thing. If you've seen every daytime Emmy show, like Andrew, I do not feel like there's enough money that would get me to watch the Emmys, much less the daytime Emmys. Like that's not a flex. That's pathetic in my mind. So I don't like. He had to be lying. I'm with you, Heidi. There's no way.
So who's? Can we say who this person is? Who was this person again?
It was I think Trevor.
Okay.
Next week's guest, Heidi. Next week's guest would be nice.
So
I'm just kidding. He's not.
I gotta look at my cheat sheet to see what Trevor does, but feel like what does Trevor do? Like you, as a person who works, very unlikely you can watch all the TV shows, daytime TV shows. So what does he do? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I actually didn't get a chance to talk to Trevor that much during filming since we were. I wasn't like close to. I wasn't adjacent to him square wise until the 4th episode, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to Trevor that much. So I don't know too much about it.
All right, so I want to like just maybe spoiler alert for anybody who may not want to hear what happened, but I'm still gonna tell you.
I mean, we're on the show; they're gonna have to hear it now.
Exactly, because it's a recap.
It's a recap.
Actually, Chelsea beat Andrew at World Currency. I thought it was a hard one, and I actually have traveled quite a bit in my life, and even some of them. I mean, I never study them, right? Like it's. If I were to go in here, I would study them. But there were some of them that I had to like read the tiny things they had on the dollars or whatever on the currency just to see what it was. And then I was like, okay, that one and that one. But it was a hard one. It was not something I could say right away what it was. Brad, what do you think about that one?
Oh, I would have crapped the bed with the currency. Like I was terrible. I knew like, did you do peso? You did a peso, right?
Yeah,
I could have done peso. I could have done a euro. I would have been terrible. Like I'm dead in the water. Like there's no way I'm making that, Heidi. I'm not good. I got foreign money in a bag upstairs, but that's all I got.
I actually didn't realize the Spain one was called pesetas. Like for whatever reason, I knew after. I was like, oh yes. But when I saw it, I was like, what is it called? There were so many I just couldn't remember.
But Andrew, I wish they would have had a scene of you going, I'm going to choose that because I've never seen Star Wars. Because I guarantee you there was many men like myself watching this going, why isn't he choosing Star Wars? Like you're going to get Luke Skywalker. You know you're going to get Han Solo. Why isn't he choosing that? Like, I was mad. I was like, this guy, he's going to be gone because he doesn't want you Star Wars. But now I know, so thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I just making a connection on the gaming in my head, I would be like, he's 100% lying. He has to know some Star Wars stuff. And gamers typically know about Star Wars. So that's like, there's no way that if they would have shown that or I would have heard you saying that, I would have never believed you. Ever. In that during the game.
What if he's gaming us right now, Heidi? What if he's like the Star Wars expert? Like he's got an in with George Lucas and he's telling us, I don't know Star Wars. I don't know it, okay? Just so he makes him look better that he didn't choose Star Wars.
Oh gosh,
that would be a good play, Andrew. That'd be a good play. Like I've never seen Star Wars. Behind him, we see a whole collection, and we just, oh wait, man, you got all these movies back there. I don't watch those.
So Andrew, question for you, and I already said it. So once you get eliminated, what happens? Like, do you get to see the rest? Do they put you away? Like, what happens?
Yeah, so they there's like one of the producers that like basically takes you off stage right away, and so it kind of sucks because you can't get to say bye to anybody. You literally leave right away, and then that's when you film you film the confessionals after. And so those like little sound bites that you see in the other room, and then they take you to an exit hotel and book your flight. And so the good part was you get to the exit hotel and it's with everybody that's been eliminated on that same day. So it was episodes 3 and 4 were that same day. So I'm really close with Neil and the dodgeball player Andrew as well, the other Andrew. And so
that guy seems really cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. So just getting to see all of them and kind of like debrief and in like the loser circle together was definitely really good to kind of like recap the whole experience together.
So did they tell you that perhaps Chelsea came back, like someone picked her, and Daytime TV came in this episode?
I did. So in the room, they have like a holding room when you get eliminated, and I saw the duels film pretty close together. And so when I came back for my interview, I saw Chelsea was in there about to do her interviews, and I was so sad because I wanted Chelsea to win the whole thing, but obviously didn't pan out that way. And so I was really sad to see Chelsea.
I actually have an update on season 4. Claire let me know what season 4 is going to look like. She got an in on it. When you go up to duel,
No spoilers, right?
no, this is real. This is real. When you go up to duel, now when you lose, they have a trap door, and it's just going to drop you down, and you just and we don't even see you again. It's over.
Was she joking
Heidi.
about this?
Heidi,
Right,
you know me long enough to know I have no in, and Claire would not tell me that.
For a moment, I was like, maybe there isn't it. Okay.
That would make it really fun, though, Heidi. Think about it. Andrew's up there. He loses the currency, and then it goes, poof, and he goes, whoa!
Oh gosh.
That'd be hilarious.
We're mixing games here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The floor sucks you.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this.
All right. So moving on to the second duel. Well, before I move on, Andrew, anything else you would like to share about your last duel there?
Yeah. So there's a soundbite that said that I studied the world currencies category for a month, and I did say I felt 100% confident. And so I want to explain that a little bit. And so because I'm a teacher, I have the summers off. So I got the call that I was going on the floor in June. And so I spent all of June and July basically studying for the floor. And so I watched the Spain version of the floor and looked at what categories they had that wasn't on season 1. And so I saw world currencies and I studied world currencies, but I only studied the top 40 current, present world currencies that are the most traded. And so I did not study any past world currencies. And so when they said past currencies in there, that really threw me off, and is all the ones I missed. And then the reason why me and Chelsea, we joke about it now, that we were guessing peso for every single answer, basically. And the reason for that is because they said that they did say that they could use, I asked them before the duel, because they explained the rules of the duel in depth more than just what Rob says before each duel. And so I asked them, I said, could you guys reuse currencies? And they said, yeah, that's a possibility. And so that's why we kept both guessing peso, because there's so many different countries that use peso that we thought it could be on there. So
I would tear that up.
but yeah.
I don't think they had a repeat though.
No, they did not. So that was a little tricky.
So which ones did you get stuck with?
I got stuck on Mark, which I think was a Dutch currency, and that was discontinued before I was even born. And so that was tough. And then bot, the Thai baht.
But
and
those
so,
they still use though.
yeah, and so I studied the Thai baht. It was just the old currency I studied with the old king. And it's so hard to see the actual word or the text on the screen across. And so I saw this Thai language, but I thought it was Middle Eastern. And so that's why I guessed the Middle Eastern currencies. If I looked to my left and I looked at the big screen, I could probably tell it was Thai. And then the Bolivar, I didn't know that one at all. So those were the main 3 I missed, I think.
Okay.
You did better than me, Andrew. I would have gotten nothing right. I would have just been pass, pass, pass.
Peso pass.
Pass-o. Wait, did he say peso? Pass-o. Yeah, that's good.
But to be honest, usually the very first one is the easiest thing. So in my head, I was like, dollar. Even before it came up, dollar. And then same thing happened to me. Mona Lisa is coming.
Yeah, that was the very first. That's the only painting my son and I knew about. We knew The Last Supper. We knew Mona Lisa. And I knew dogs playing poker. That was about the extent of my...
All right.
We'll get to that though, Heidi.
Yeah.
What's the next duel? Now that we've, moved the corpse of Andrew out of the floor at this point, Andrew, you watched the episode, right? You've seen past your exit, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, let's keep talking, Heidi. Where are we at?
Someone you posted, for the record, you posted a little comment. I hope people get to see it because it's like, oh, adding a trap door. That would be intense. I think it's awesome.
That would be so intense.
Moving on. Ben, so you went, no, not you. Chelsea went back to the floor. So the randomizer came, and we had on the second duel, we had Ben and Kara. And their category was triple threat. So Andrew, you probably didn't see it until yesterday night. So tell us what you thought about that one.
That was a really close duel. And so when Ben talked to us about the duel in the exit hotel, he made it seem like it was a complete blowout. And I was really shocked to see Ben have it be that close. Like, it was only a few pictures away from winning and losing. And Ben was a really strong competitor. He's a really smart guy. He played college basketball. And so he was one of the ones that I was really afraid of, and I would actually never duel because he was constantly studying. And so the few hours we have before we film, you do hair and makeup, and he had his AirPods in and he was dialed in and focused. So I was really shocked to see him out on triple threats.
Andrew, do you have access to your phone? Like, how do you study? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so you get access to your phone, not when you're on like the stage or on the floor, but in between episodes, there's like a 30-minute break. And before each day you film, you have like 3 hours in a waiting room to try to get 100 people's hair and makeup and clothing done. And so you can use that time to study, as well as when you go back from like the first day, you go back to the hotel room. I studied all night and studied all those all the categories around me. And then you can basically study up for kind of prepare yourself for the next day of filming. But if you like Chelsea inherited daytime TV, she didn't have any time to study that in between the two duels. So,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, I was going to call you Rob. Brad, comments on that one.
On the triple threat, is that the one where they showed like J-Lo and... Is that the J-Lo one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I could have done that one. My son and I, we were hanging.
That was easier.
That was an easier one than currencies for me.
Yeah, there was like Miley Cyrus, and like there were easier ones for sure.
Cher, I think Cher was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there that I was like, I could do this. Like I could win that one. I could win that one.
Yeah.
My nightmare would be for Heidi and I to get on the floor and we're stuck around categories that we suck at. That would be my nightmare. That's the nightmare. Yeah. Like I'd want to be around everything I know, so I don't even have to study. I just go out and eat and enjoy and just hang out. That'd be what I'd want.
Yeah.
What would you not want around you?
What you had would be the worst. I wouldn't want currencies. I definitely wouldn't want what's the periodic table guy that looks very confident? I wouldn't want that guy around me.
But here's the thing: the periodic table is something you could learn it, and it's like not infinite, right? It's just a few. I mean, it's quite a few of them, but it's something. Once you learn it, it's in your head. You're good to go. Versus there's some of them that there's so many more permutations than the table. So I think that one would be fine.
Yeah, but that's not fine, Heidi, if you're trying to cram it at midnight and you're trying to learn. How many periodic numbers are there? Like 99?
I think there's 118, I think, because I remember the whole periodic table. So
118 would be impossible for me to learn in a night. I would just cry in my hotel room and then order a pizza. That's what I would end up doing.
But that's just only 118 things you need to know, not 3,000 plus, right?
You're right. It could be a lot of daytime TV. Anyway, where are we at now? That's the.
All right. So Ben and Kara won, and she chose to stay on the top, right? So she continued in the next duel. So she actually was the one that picked Chelsea, and that's when we had daytime TV. So that was actually pretty interesting. I thought daytime TV, at least for me, was harder than I thought. There were some really obvious ones, but then there were some that I was like, I don't know who this person is at all. it was some sort of judge, and I was like, I don't know who this is. I'm sorry. I should be Googling all these people, but I didn't know.
It was Judge Mathis, Heidi. I was like, Judge. I didn't know Mathis. You're right. I was with you.
Bro, who's Judge Mathis?
He's got a TV show. See, the problem is, Heidi, all three of us work during the day, so we don't really get the daytime TV stuff. I thought they might show like soap opera stars. I mean, that's daytime, which would have really sunk me. Like I knew Maury Povich, and you know because, well, I mean, I was on an episode of Maury Povich.
What?
This girl, I was like, I am not your dad, and then he goes, you are the father, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I don't believe anything that Brad said.
Andrew, I was not on Maury Povich. Jacob, I was not on Maury Povich. My wife was like, you're the dad. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Oh.
Anyway.
All right, so Kara, so she went against Ben, and then she went against Chelsea, and Kara won second time in a row.
Heidi, we need to say this really quick about Kara. Or is it Kara? I think he calls her Kara. I like how Kara goes, did I win? Oh,
yes!
I was like, you won, right? Are you trying to, is that like another, like, I'm going to let you know, did I do that?
That was with Ben, I think, right?
Was it?
That was Ben's duel, yeah.
Yeah. That was, yeah.
Jacob says this, by the way. You can see it. You are the father.
I don't know if Andrew knows this.
Andrew, well, that's a Star Wars and a Maury. That's a Star Wars and a Maury Povich line. You are the father.
Or you are the.
Luke, I am your father.
I have heard that one before.
Oh yeah. Okay, moving on.
Anyway.
So, duel number 4. So Kara's chose to stay once again up in the podium for a third duel in a row.
She's got some stones, by the way. I appreciate a woman that's going to be like, I'm going to stay up here.
That's what makes that episode much more interesting, I thought, at least. Right?
Yes.
So she picked Jessica, who had Gen Z. And I really want to hear your thoughts on this one, because I actually was very surprised about this one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, so Gen Z was an interesting one. To watch it play out on TV, there is a lot of those that I would have gotten personally. But it is also like what a lot of people don't realize at home is that it's so much different when you're up there. And so like even during the game night category, there was games that popped up there that I've played for years, and I still like paused and went, oh. And so like even like the simplest things like leave your mind, where I'm like pretty sure Jessica knew what Crocs was. She posted like a funny Instagram story about it last night. But like when you get up on there, your mind sometimes freezes, and I think that's really what happened there.
This is what category is this again? This was my brain is
Gen Z.
Gen Z. Okay, so I was like, I got this, Max. And he's like, no, you're not Gen Z. I'm like, I'm Gen Z, right? And he goes, no, I'm Gen X. And so he is 11, and he was like, Billie Eilish. I'm like, how do you know who I don't even know who Billie Eilish is.
My 9-year-old loves Billie Eilish. Okay.
Yeah, I figure, but I was like, he knew the category. He could have hung at 11 in the Gen Z category. He would have beaten me. He's like, oh, that's Nas X. I'm like, oh my gosh, man.
Well, but some of them were easy. Stanley, Crocs. Like some of them were like things, maybe because I have kids, but things that is like super like common these days. But to Andrew's point, maybe the pressure got to her or them a little bit, because some of them were like, I couldn't believe Billie Eilish. That one was, to me, that was like, if you're a true Gen Z, how do you not think of that name right away? But again, it's the pressure. So. Yeah,
Mr. Beast. I knew Mr. Beast. I'm like, oh, it's Mr. Beast. My son was like, Mr. Beast or Jimmy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going Jimmy on this?
Jimmy.
He's like Jimmy.
My daughter was really good at this one too. Maybe it's the TV influence, and I don't know, maybe social media. I have no idea, but she was really good at it.
Andrew and Heidi, do you think this show they could throw a wrench in this and make it a little different? And you have to, if you're up there, you have to stay for 3 duels.
Oh,
Like you have to. But if you successfully complete those 3 duels, you get 10 seconds because you've made it through 3 duels.
wow. I like the idea of forcing people to stay up there multiple times in a row. I feel like that would be so interesting to see because you saw the first 3 episodes, everyone just went back to the floor. And so, wow, that would be really
boring
with the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you stay up there and let's say they make a rule where you got to stay up there 3, but on the 3rd one, the audience gets to pick. Is there an audience in there? There's not an audience.
There is a studio audience in like
okay.
Yeah.
So the studio audience gets to pick the category for you, and if you win that category, you get 10 seconds added onto your instead of the 5 because you took a category that you didn't want. I feel like they could throw some. They could also do a kid floor, Heidi. They could do kids like a junior, floor junior, and have kids on there doing this stuff. That would be great. There's so many. Oh my gosh, we got to get with the producers, Heidi.
Yeah, I think I love the kids idea because I will tell you, in my house it's a yelling, it's a yelling playground. Okay.
Yes, my son and I yell.
And for the record, so we use captions, closed captions a lot in our house, and mostly because of me. But I made sure it's like, please pause it. Please take all the captions off. I don't want to know the answers. We want to compete. I don't want the kids or myself or anybody to read it. We want to compete. So this is a battle of who yells the answer first, and the kids love it. The kids
it's so interactive. They could do a floor. They could have a floor video game, really, where you're going against each other and you're trying to you yell it into the mic. So many, oh my gosh, we should all be working for the floor right now.
All right, I'm moving to 5, and for the record, we only had 8 duels in this episode. We had 9 previous couple episodes, so this was a shorter one. The next one, number 5. So Kara actually, that's not true. Kara went to the floor, and then Megan was randomly selected, and Megan picked Kara to go. Is that how it went?
Yes.
Okay. And then which is why they ended up having the one that Kara, I don't know how to say it, maybe it's my accent, but she had brand mascots. That was the one that she inherited, so that's why that one came up, because Megan picked her. That was kind of a fun one. Any thoughts on that? Brad, maybe I'll go to you first. What do you think about that one?
I'll have thoughts, Andrew. One, she comes out, the girl, what was the girl's name? Megan?
Morgan, I think.
She's Morgan. She's like the school teacher. She goes,
it's Morgan?
It's Morgan, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
She goes,
I gotta fix my notes. I don't know why I wrote Megan. Thank you for that. Go ahead.
she goes, she thinks she's got the trifecta. Well, what is that she says, Andrew? It's funny. Like, this is the
Threat or
fourth.
something like that.
The triple threat. Well, this may be 4 times not a charm or something like that. I don't know. It was funny. She sachets up on stage, and immediately we get to finally see the bonus time used. And you have to be an idiot not to use it, because you don't know if you're going home right now. So she's like, I'm using this. So she's starting out with 50 seconds. Like, she's got a 5-second cushion on her. This quite possibly was one of the worst floor duels, because there was a ton of passes on this one. It was like pass. But they did do my move, Andrew and Heidi, that I've been wanting, is you immediately pass. I feel like Morgan immediately passed on one of them. She goes, pass. And I like that. Instead of looking at it and then going past, she wasted no time. So, yes, this is the one where it ended with 2 seconds. And I like that. It was great. Really enjoyable duel.
What did you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I thought this was a good one to use a time boost on. And so, obviously, there's some categories that are better to use the time boost on than others. And so, I think world currencies, it really doesn't matter having an extra 5 seconds. It wouldn't have made a difference. But, brand mascots, those go by so fast because you either know it or you don't, and so you can pass right away. And I think that was really smart for Kara to use her time boost on, especially in a category that she just inherited. And so she was close to it, so she could have studied it, but it wasn't her expertise category.
Mm-hmm. I thought I really liked this one. I was not quite sure if this was going to be easy or difficult, but once they started going, I was like, oh, yeah. And so I thought I really enjoyed this one, maybe because I knew a lot of them. But I'm with you. I think it was how not to use the boost on something like this one, this category, right? And she didn't need it. But Rob said something at the end that I agree with him. I think having that boost gave him a little bit of a confidence. I would agree with that comment. I felt she was a bit more confident on this one than some of the other ones, the previous ones she had just done.
Wait, she would have lost had she not used the boost, right?
No, she had 13 or 18 seconds.
No, this was the 2-second one, right?
No.
I think that was paintings.
Yeah.
Later.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that one. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
He had longer than 10
I
seconds.
stand corrected, listeners.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she had more. So in general, I guess overall she didn't need it. But I do think she was very confident because she had the extra time and extra cushion. So it just felt like she was owning that one more than the first three.
But it almost felt like the school teacher, Morgan, went up there. She forgot Kara had the time boost. And when Kara chose to use the time boost, you could almost see the life go out of Morgan's eyes. Like, she kind of crapped herself at that moment because she's like, I got to really hope she messes up something huge on this. And this is a moron-proof category, Heidi. I mean, you can be an idiot and know brands because you go out and you do things.
But don't forget, though, she was in an area where she didn't have a lot of choices. It was maybe 3 choices. So I could understand her being like, well, pulse the wall and see what happens. But I'm with you. She they showed a quick clip of her face. I was like, maybe she didn't realize it. But yeah, it's a tough one. I guess when you're in an island, tiny island, with only 2 or 3 choices, it is what it is. You go for
but you gotta go for the big fish, right? You're gonna go for, if I'm there and I got 3 choices, I might as well shoot for the stars and hope I beat her. That's the thing. Yeah. So I give her props for that, but she stood really no shot.
Yeah. Now, Andrew, I have a question for you. And we had Angie last week, and Angie explained a lot about how the time boost works. Mm-hmm. But I still have a question. I don't know if you know the answer.
Yeah.
Whoever, she or he, if you win 3, you get the time boost. Are you capped at that 5? I can't remember if Angie told us or not. Can you still do 3 more and get 5 more?
You can. You can't stack time boost, though. And so if Kara wanted to, the brand mascots duel with her time boost being used, that would count as 1 again, and then she would have to do 2 more to get another time boost. And so it would count towards the running total for 3 to get the time boost, but she couldn't save her time boost, do 3 more, and then get another time boost and use 2 time boosts in the same duel.
Got it.
Wait, I thought Angie explained that doesn't count. When she uses a time boost, she has to do another 3 in a row, right? That the time boost usage doesn't count as a win. That's how Angie explained it.
I think it should count as a win. But the rules were pretty since the rules we were given a day before, and so we were all asking questions about the time boost, and so it was unclear to a lot of the contestants. So I think it could have gone either way.
Andrew, you're gonna have to send us a message and clarify it. So, because I remember I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, but wait, you cannot count the 1 with a time boost. So if you use it, it's gone, and then you start the 3. We need a fact check.
I'll have to talk to Angie. I might text one of the producers and see what that rule is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fact check that, because that's a I would like to know that. And I would say Rob Lowe probably doesn't even know that rule. I would venture to say that.
I think you're right on that one. Yeah.
So Kara won once again, right? And she chose to go back to the floor. She inherited compound words. I'm very excited to see compound words because I am very curious what they're gonna put in there. But I don't think anyone would know that. But who knows? We're gonna have to watch and see, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. All right. moving on to number 6. So we had Andrew, who is your buddy, who also his category was Ancient Egypt. I don't understand what that means. I cannot wait to actually see it. I've been to Egypt. I don't feel confident with ancient Egypt. I don't know what they will bring to that. But he picked
I'd be
Jake.
dead.
He picked Jake, and that category was action films. And Brad, immediately I thought of you. So Brad, I'll go to you first. What do you think about that one?
I would have been money in that category. Even Max was like, "That's the movie we just watched," when it was Fall Guy, because we watched Fall Guy.
I watched
And
it. It's good too.
it's pretty good. My son Max loved it. I fell asleep in it, but I fall asleep a lot. Yeah, I could have got at least 85% of those. Those were pretty easy. I was like, Speed, Matrix.
Okay, so my husband would have beat you. He
probably would have.
He got every single one of them, and like this. I'm like, dude, you should go on the floor. He knew them, every single one of them like that. There were a couple that I didn't know, but I was totally impressed. Andrew, what do you think about that one?
That one would have been very hard for me. And so again, my parents didn't let me watch a lot of action movies growing up. And so I would have known like probably 20 to 30% of those, but they went pretty deep in that category where they were going like back and forth. I would have struggled towards the end for sure.
It was a good one.
It was my favorite. It was my favorite category the whole night because that's the one I could walk in. I knew it.
Yeah. Andrew, I'm very curious. So you didn't watch Star Wars. You didn't know many of these. What's your favorite movie? I'm very curious.
I really don't have a favorite movie. I literally only watch like reality TV, and that's it. So I watch every single type of reality TV, but like that's about the extent of what I watch. So.
Are you watching The Summit on CBS?
I am. I actually, fun fact, I made it to the finals, the casting finals for The Summit.
Wow.
Ultimately was cut, but I got to like meet Jesse and the whole casting team, and so I've been talking to some of the guys that were on The Summit. So Theron, the board game player, he actually watched my duel of the floor and sent me a video of him playing along. So it's been cool to talk to that cast as well.
Heidi, I think you would do good on The Summit. Have you been watching it?
Fun fact, I saw it and I was like, this is even more up on my league than even Survivor, because I love extreme stuff, adventure sports. Give me like all of it and I'm in it. So I was like, I should totally just apply to be in The Summit. And it's the same casting people as Survivor, so maybe I cannot apply. But I actually thought like, oh my God, it's awesome. And I know we're cross, here Fox versus CBS or whatever. But yeah. I'm a reality TV gal, right? So I loved it. I'm watching. I'm a little bit behind. I'm only on episode 3, but I'm really.
Wait, that's the episode that's out right now. 3.
Really?
Yeah, there's only 3.
Yeah.
Because they showed a preview in September and didn't come back until like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so I thought I was really behind. No,
you saw when they did the axe on the poor old man. Oh gosh,
no.
so sad, man.
Dramatic.
I was like, oh my gosh, that would be me, Heidi. They would be cutting you and me because we would be the older ones. They'd be like, we got to cut Heidi. She won almost one Survivor. We got to get her out of here. They're like wanting to get rid of the good people. I'm like, let them carry you to the top and then cut them. I don't understand their motivation. But anyway, we're doing a Summit recap right now on the floor. Anyway.
I'm moving on the floor. Okay.
Yeah.
So we go forward here, number 6. So, oh no, that's the one we just talked. Andrew and Jake. Jake won, but that was actually a very close one. I thought Andrew was close. Now let's talk about Andrew real quick. Andrew is the one who said he is. Wait, remind me again. He's a what player again?
Professional dodgeball player.
Is that such a thing? Like dodge?
It is.
Is that even in the Olympics? Maybe.
I don't think it's in the Olympics, but I know he just came back from Australia. So I text with him probably every week at least. He came back from Australia from a huge dodgeball tournament just last week.
He also said he has the fastest throw, I think he said, in the world. So that is a cool thing to say. It's like
I would like to have him come on here just because I'd like to know if I could take a ball from his throw. Like I would like for him to throw one at me and just see if
It would survive. I would not survive.
I don't know. I would like to try that though. So it is that.
Go ahead.
What was their category again?
The one that we just talked.
With the dodgeballer.
Action films.
No, the dodgeballer. He wasn't in that.
Was Ancient Egypt.
Oh, his was action film. Okay, yeah. Okay. So move. What's the next
He
one?
lost it, even though he looked sharp, and I thought he did well. Unfortunately, Jake was better. So Jake stayed on the floor. I can't remember what he said. He said something. I'm gonna shoot bananas. No, what was it? Was something bananas. He's like,
Eat bananas.
yeah. So he was just like going.
He's the comedy podcaster, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, so and my son was like, I said, hey, he's a podcast like me. He said, yeah, but he's funny. That's what my son told me.
It
And
was
I'm like,
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey.
You need to have Jake too. Do you know Jake, Andrew?
I talk to Jake all the time. Yeah, I'm sure he would love to come on here.
Yes, you gotta connect Jake and Andrew. We would love
What's
to
his podcast like? I'd like to go on his podcast and see if I could be as funny as him.
We're not funny again. As much as him, probably.
I want to
haven't
see if
listened
I
to
can
his
outduel
podcast.
him.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, we got to ask him what his podcast is.
All right, moving on. Number 7 was Jake, and she picked Vanessa, and this is the paintings one. Brad, I know you've been itching to talk about this one. What do you think?
I was snoring during this one because I would look at Jake and I'd be like, hey man, I'm done. We don't even need to do this duel, man. I'm gonna embarrass myself.
I
I
love
would've.
that he went for it. He like that was not his category. He's like balls to the wall, Vanessa, paintings, boom, and he beat her. Andrew, what do you think?
That was such a hard category. Like both of you, I probably wouldn't have made it past Mona Lisa. It would have been Mona Lisa and then pass if I was there. So I was very lucky I did not play that. I was shocked by how deep both of them went in that category. But it was cool to see. It was sad to see Vanessa go because I talk to Vanessa every day. She actually lives in Ireland now, so it says Miami in her thing, and she used to live in Miami, but now she lives in Ireland. But yeah, so it was sad to see those two go at it because I liked both of them, but it was such a close duel though.
And she says something like "Sorry, Dad" or something. Is there a story about her dad being?
Yeah, so her dad was like an artist, and so that's why she felt so good about paintings when she inherited it. And then she lost, and so she said, "Sorry, Dad." But yeah, so that was kind of sad.
You can dodge it, Rich. You can dodge the ball. Can I share a story with you guys really quick? I know we're getting close to wrapping, but I want to say I took the students to a youth camp over the weekend last weekend, and it was very exhausting. And they joined at the camp. We had a dodgeball tournament, and the kids I brought, the students are high schoolers, junior high. They were like, do you want to play? I was like, I guess I'll play. We need you to be good, though, because we've got to win this game to go to the championships. And I'm like, okay. And I told my buddy who's my age, I said, hey, man, I don't want to be the first one out. So when they blew the whistle, the ref blew the whistle, I didn't run to the ball. I stayed back against the wall. I'm like, okay, I can survey it. And literally 30 seconds in, boom, I'm hitting the leg. I'm like, I'm the first one out. It was so embarrassing.
Well, I think you want Andrew to throw the ball at you.
Yes, I do. I want to get that ball thrown at me just to see I can say I took it from the fastest dodgeball passer in the world.
Ever. Yeah.
Guinness Book.
Oh, that's good. Now, Jake, we need to have Jake here because did they take pity on him on some of the titles? I think he butchered the name of some of them a little bit. Maybe I need to rewatch it and slow it down and see what he said because he's like, oh, I guess I got it right. Right? He's like, wait, did he say that right? So, do you agree, disagree just by watching it, Andrew?
Yeah, they were pretty lenient on some of the titles, and so it looked like he got a few guesses in, and they gave him credit for it, which definitely educated guesses, but they were pretty lenient on what he said versus what they showed on the title for at like the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
We're still on paintings, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he did squeeze through a few that I was like, what? Did he say that?
and maybe this is something silly. I don't think I would mind even if I was against him, but saying something like the Meninas and it's Las Meninas, like there's a little bit of intricacy between the and las, right? But I think I'm okay with passing that. But there were a couple of them that I was like, oh, did he say that right? I don't know. But I like him, so I'm glad that he stuck around. Okay. And then we go to the very last one. He's stayed on the floor there, or I should say at the podium, and he picked, I want to say her name is Kyla. Am I pronouncing that right? And that was vending machine. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Vending machine? What? Like there were a couple of those that I question if you can find them in vending machine, unless you're in Japan, which in Japan you can find anything in a vending machine. But what are your thoughts, Andrew? I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that one was. There's definitely harder ones I feel like thrown at Kyla, but it's a random order. So, but I feel like she definitely got some pretty tricky ones that I would have missed. And there were a few things I'm like, I don't know if you would fit that in a vending machine in the U.S. at least, maybe in Japan, but yeah, I will say something that wasn't shown that's really interesting is Jake actually had COVID when he was on the floor, and so he did not feel good at all. And so a lot of people were getting sick because you're standing up for 10 hours a day, and so. We actually didn't know. Luckily, no one else really got COVID from the experience, but he found out he had COVID when he got back to the States, and he just said he felt really bad. And so that's why he wanted to keep dueling. Like he went for paintings and went for vending machines was because he just did not feel good and was like, if I win, I win. But if I lose, hey, it happens. So that I think was why he went for vending machines there.
But he did good. I mean,
he did good, yeah.
And he won the time boost after that, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see how many he did. Yeah.
Did he win a time boost? He won a time boost?
Is that right?
And he went back to the floor.
Well,
no, yeah.
I think you have to wait next week to find out. So I don't
Oh,
know.
Okay, that was the end. Okay. Yeah, we didn't do 9. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wrote down if he wins 3 more, would he get another time boost? So we were talking about that.
Vending machines, I would have crushed, Heidi. I think I could have got vending machines. Like, if you don't know Coca-Cola, you're an idiot. Like, there's no.
I said Coke. Would they accept that? I don't know. But
I said Coke too, Heidi. I think they would have took it. I do. I think they would have taken it. Was the raisins in the brand or the vending machine?
Oh, that was it. I think.
Yeah.
I don't
Nobody's buying raisins in a vending machine. No way.
Well, Nila, they have Nila wafers. I've never purchased Nila wafers in a vending machine.
Not in a vending machine.
No, I've seen Oreos. I've never seen Nilla wafers. I've never seen that. And I've never seen Pellegrinos in a vending machine.
Yeah. Isn't that made of like glass? Like, wouldn't that
Yes.
like
So go
I don't know. I here in Pittsburgh, they have a vending machine for like champagne. So I could see how there's fancy vending machines, right? So I could see maybe some for Pellegrino. I've never seen them, but I feel like there could be some out there.
Well, it could be one of those high-tech ones, Andrew, where it goes and it like opens it up and you take it out. And one of those.
I can see that. Yeah.
Vending machine operators, they make some good side. It's a good side hustle. I wish I could have a bunch of vending machines around town. That's for sure.
All right. So, Andrew, anything you would like to share with us? If people can follow you, where should they follow you? Tell us anything you would like our audience to hear about you.
Yeah. So, really, I'm the most social on Instagram. So, at Andrew.herk. That's my last or shortened version of my last name. And so that's my Instagram handle, but that's pretty much where I'm the most active. And so I just want to say, like, this has been such a cool experience to like get to talk to you guys and then also just like do the show. And so I'm definitely excited though now, like watching, going to be able to like watch it as a fan and watch all new duels. And so that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to as well.
Likewise, it was amazing to have you. I mean, it's kind of fun to hear you're a reality TV fan because I feel like you're part of the family too now, right? But definitely that's in my world. So, Brad, anything else that you would like to share? Any comments? Oh, one more thing before I forget. So, Andrew, we typically give our audience a little homework to help us with the next person. So maybe we'll talk to you and see who we think is the right person, and we'll schedule them in the future. But Brad, anything else from you?
Well, I mean, I'm not in this family, Andrew. Heidi talks about family all the time. I'm like the I'm like the redheaded stepchild. Oh, he's like, you're in the family now. You're in the family. I'm not in the family. But Jacob says this to you, Andrew. He says,
thanks, Jacob.
He says, you are awesome, Andrew.
You're
officially our friend now, Andrew. So we may come back to you for questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a part of our show, and we love The Floor. It's an amazing show. If you're not watching it, shame on you. It's great. It's great. And let's motivate Heidi to go on Summit so we can recap Summit. Andrew, if she goes on the Summit, you can be a recapper with me, and we'll talk about Heidi.
Andrew has better chances. He was all the way to like the end. He can still try again, and he probably has chances.
Looking at it now, what it was because they initially pitched it as like treasure trails, and so it made it seem like it was going to be like really fun and easy. Looking at the show now, I would have died. I'm much better. I told all my friends I'm much better standing up on a stage, identifying fun little board games than hiking up a mountain for 14 days. So
here's what they don't know, and maybe because I have the survivor blood in me, but I feel like they have to be a little more cutthroat, and the alliances have to work. So if we're there, Andrew, together, we'll have an alliance.
Okay.
Just
I like that.
That's big because Heidi, if I was on the Summit, they would hate me because I would pee a lot. I'd constantly be like, "Hey guys, I gotta go pee." Heidi says I pee. I would have to go pee all the time. Like, I gotta go pee, guys. Give me 1 second. But we gotta cut this old man. He pees a lot.
So Andrew, listen. Thank you again. Did you say you're in Florida? Tell us about. I don't know if you were in the path of the hurricane, but everything okay by your house in your community?
Yeah, so our city, Bradenton, is like in between Tampa and Sarasota. So we were pretty close to the eye of the storm. Luckily, I evacuated, and then when I came back, my apartment building is pretty close to the water, but there's no damage, no flooding. And so Bradenton, there's a lot of tree damage, a lot of power went out, but not a lot of flooding like they predicted, which was really our whole city is very thankful, but unfortunately some of the other towns were not as fortunate, and so like Sarasota and Anna Maria really got hit bad, and so so that was definitely unfortunate, but luckily I'm and a lot of my community is safe. So
thoughts and prayers to your community and everyone down south, for anybody who's affected. Andrew, if you ever hear you need anything, Brad and I are always here.
Yes.
So we are happy to do anything we can from our side. So thank you for joining us. Brad, I'll let you wrap it up.
Well, for Andrew, thank you, Andrew, for my good friend Heidi. My name is Brad. We'll see you next week on Reality Check with Heidi and Brad, but really it's The Floor. I'm going to call it the official Floor Recap Show, episode 5. But before I leave, Jacob has this to say. Does he really need to at this point? He said
the whole thing.
He doesn't even need to watch it now. That might be the funniest thing. Hey, thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much, man.
Yep, have a good one.
Bye, guys.
That was funny. He's like, I